And you were right on time for yet another riveting, touchy, deep discussion of Let's Talk Love Kenya here, where I sit with media expert extraordinaire, #1 public educator, #1 friend of the people, Professor Herman Manyora himself, and we sit to discuss, to dissect, and to delve deep into issues of love and family. My name is Kimathi. Welcome on the ride. Prof.
Yes.
It's October already. How would you say that year has been? Because
good year. We are alive and we thank God.
We thank God.
Many people have died and we are living, and many countries have gotten into big problems. We are still moving on as a country.
One country that is in a big problem, Prof, is Kenya. And the problem is the issue of our girls dying in Saudi Arabia. Not just Saudi, but in the entire Gulf. It seems to be a big problem, and it's been a big story this past week. There was a video, a very disturbing video that I hope you did not see.
I heard about it. I didn't want to watch.
Don't see it, Prof. It's a bad one.
Yes.
So there was a video, and there is a lady, and some bad things are happening. It's not the first, it's not the second or third time. Our young women are going to the Gulf in droves, and they're dying there. And guess what, Prof? Foreign media reports that Kenyans are actually dying to go to the Gulf, despite all this bombarding of media reports about bad treatment, the kafala system, all that stuff. I know you know about that stuff, Prof. What is the direction? Unemployment is going up. People are looking for work, but families are losing daughters. And the idea of having a house help or a help in the family is to have someone help you. But we are seeing a lot of families crying that our daughter left to Saudi. We hoped it would work out, but it didn't. She came back in a coffin. She came back dead. She came back mutilated, you know? So the question that I keep asking myself, if these parents, if these families know what's happening, why do we keep sending our daughters there? How does it work that you're sending your child, your sister, your brother, your wife into a situation that, yes, you want to benefit her and you financially, but there is imminent danger?
But you see, it's not just there are also cases where the parent perhaps has almost nothing to do with it, or at very best just concurrence.
But in every news story we see about this, it's a parent crying, it's a mother, it's a father crying.
You know, that's now different. That is, I'm saying at the level of people going, they are adults, most of them, and they don't need parental consent. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, even where parents are concerned, it's not for want of love or for lack of love. It is basically for two reasons. One, ignorance. The ignorance about the situation that you are sending somebody into, or somebody is walking into in the Gulf states. The other issue, which may even override ignorance, even in cases where people know there are risks, they are willing to take those risks because of the poverty levels in the country, because of unemployment. Here is a family who out of love should be telling their daughter, no, wacha tukae hapa hata kama tutakufa na njaa. But they will be supporting her to go, even raising money for agent fees and things of that nature.
But they watch news, Prof. These people see these things happening.
I'm telling you, it is like the case of hungry people. We are being told they eat even dogs. It is cases of desperation. Okay, there are people who go to the Gulf states out of ignorance. But there are those who go there despite knowing the danger. They are at a point where anything, so long as it gives you hope, anything.
You don't care if you die or not?
Yeah, and they are, look here, it's not just Kenya. And it's not just going to work in the Gulf states. How many people die as they try to cross illegal immigrants across the Mediterranean, going to Europe? Southern Europe and other places.
Yes.
I mean, people go knowing very well survival chances are very low.
In search of a better life.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to blame parents and say they don't love their children, but some people are in situations where they are dying anyway. This is where we have put our country. We have put our country in situations where people are dying anyway. So one death cannot be seen to be better than another death. That's why I think the decision should not be left at the level of parents, because these are desperate people. It is country that must be smarter. It is government that must love its people. It is the President of the Republic of Kenya who must show love to the people of Kenya. It is those like you and I who have had the benefit of education, who have forums such as this, who must tell our leaders, tell our young men and women that what you call green pastures, those are death traps. And we must also help government to see that if you love your people, you cannot send them into those kind of situations of slavery. We must also tell ourselves, and I keep challenging Kenyans, please love yourself.
Love yourself.
Before you even love anybody else, love yourself. First, as a person. Secondly, as a Kenyan. Love yourself as an African. The things people talk about Africans outside there, oh God. When we allow our own to go to the Gulf states and enter into direct slavery, people are laughing at us. It's not those ones. Something these stupid leaders of ours, and I'm sorry using the word stupid.
They are stupid on this matter.
Because I have a problem looking for another word. What they don't know, when you send somebody to Saudi or some other country and people see this as a nigger,
Worst of the worst.
this is a slave.
Scum of the earth. That's what they say.
What they see in that person is what they see you even as the president of Kenya.
Really?
Yeah. They may not tell you because they're exploiting us. Wazungu, when they see our own living in Kibra, that live people live in Kibra in Kawangware, and they see you in a tie at a minister, they just laugh. But because you are facilitating the exploitation of your country, those people will not tell you. But if they were not exploiting us, they will tell you you are very stupid.
So if we
How
want
do you allow your people to go to Saudi and be exposed to those things that are being exposed? You are useless, you are just monkeys. That's what they think. Look, we must tell ourselves the truth. Those people, treat those people. The only way they can't treat our leaders like that is because we are in an exploitative relationship with them. They want business here. They want to come and exploit us. They want to extract our resources from us. They want to sell us oil at exorbitant prices.
Are you saying they hate us?
They don't value us. And the more he told us, hakuna mtu anaamini mwafrika. They think we are just useless. Nobody respects an African. Nobody respects an African. And we make it worse when we send our own to Arab countries to go into what is clearly open slavery.
To be raped.
And we think stupidly and foolishly that anybody will respect us. Nobody will respect an African if they see your fellow Africans living the lives they live. Let me tell you, Africans, wakati mzungu anakuona in a tie, he just is a monkey in a tie.
A monkey in a tie is such a sight, bro. Monkey in a
These
tie.
people seeing, you think Arabs value you? They think you are just monkeys. You are useless people. You are not human beings. How would people allow their people to, you touch people? Even one Chinese mistreat him here.
You can't.
One Chinese.
Here in my country.
They will descend on you. The country will descend on you. It's an affront on the Chinese. Mistreat one American citizen, you will have touched America itself.
Do we have a collective low self-esteem as a people?
Yeah, you know.
Do we have this collective trauma that makes us always want
What is the worst?
to accept the worst
What
of
is
the
the worst?
worst?
We even hate ourselves.
That's what I'm asking, Prof.
Even. I'm sorry to say this.
African people, we hate ourselves.
I'm sorry to say this. I work at a university. That's the highest level.
What would make you say that?
And you can see a professor with a white scholar, a visiting scholar, walking as if you would expect a villager to walk with a white person in the village. Yeah, you want
very subdued.
You want to cry.
In the presence of...
One day there was a person, somebody in my department, there were no new rules. You set your exams, submit them, and there's a deadline. I'm a little lazy, I must,
All smart
I must
people are
confess. So I took my exams. The guy refused. The guy in charge of exams said, this one,
You're late.
you are late, you are late. Somebody else took, he was told, you are late, you are late. So now we are figuring out how we are going to face disciplinary.
Are you a professor then?
Yeah, so
Were you a professor in that time?
I was a teacher, of course.
Ah.
So some stupid, I must also call them stupid, some foreigners.
Not so many synonyms for stupid, bro.
Some foreigners now brought the exams late. And the guy took, and they came looking for us now to give ours. First of all, I wanted to beat him. I wanted to beat him. Then I felt sad and I went to my office and I cried.
It's so sad.
I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby.
For yourself?
For this country, for the black man. As foreigner, even as useless one, will make a professor tremble. And for Kenyans, foreigner expands beyond even color. Anything foreign. The ugliest of Congolese people will have our best girls here. The ugliest of West Africans. Ugly. I mean, human beings are not supposed to be ugly. But there are some who are so ugly. Some have bleached themselves. If you look at them, if you wanted to eat, you lose your appetite.
Very short people.
But our girls will go for them because they are foreigners.
Even the Nigerians in Eroisambo, bro.
So,
They're taking our wives.
These are the things we must deal with.
Are you saying as
Nobody will
Kenyans,
respect you if you don't respect yourself. If Kenyans respect themselves, they cannot take their own to go into slavery in Saudi. And the moment you take your own children into slavery in Saudi, in fact, what they go through, the indignity is not anything compared to what we go through when people see us. When those people see us.
Crazy stuff, bro. But I'm not trying to compare apples to oranges, but how do we treat our own house helps here? You know, I know it doesn't go to the extremes of suckling dogs and stuff, but
you know,
how do we treat our house helps here?
There are two things. I'm happy you talked about apples and oranges. It may not be good for you to treat your own in a certain way.
Your own.
Yes. While it is bad, it may be nowhere comparable to others treating. Because when you treat one house help in Saudi badly, it's an affront on the whole
continent, the whole people.
Yeah, it is all Kenyans. It is Kenya that is being mistreated, whether you like it or not. It's the black race that is being mistreated and stepped on and peed on. Right. So while we must take care that nobody mistreats their employees by name of house helps, maids, whatever, we must know the impact of having foreigners mistreat Kenyans. Because then we are subhuman.
Does it affect our politics, Prof? Does it affect when we are doing, because we do business with these people on equal terms basis?
Which people?
In terms of, like in Saudi Arabia, the third largest remittance amounts come from Saudi. That means after the UK and the US, the amount of money that comes from Saudi as remittance back home is a lot. So does the way these people treat us spill over when you do business?
Again, I feel so bad. When people say that remittance is a lot of money, what is a lot of money?
Relative.
Which relative? We must stop having our bar so low. We must stop glorifying mediocrity.
But that's why we are, bro.
We must stop glorifying small things. We must aim high. Only then shall we ensure we have a country in 50 years from now. But if we keep our bar so low, if we call 300 billion from diaspora a lot of money, this country will collapse tomorrow.
That's why.
Because we think it's a lot of money, and because we are looking at Gulf states as bringing big money,
that's why
we have gone to sleep. Not only are we selling our dignity as Kenyans and as Africans, but we are also sleeping in terms of economic prosperity. Because, my friend, there is such a serious demand for skilled and semi-skilled labor outside there. Kenya may not have enough people to take.
Brain drain.
I was telling somebody in one of the shows we are recording here. If I'm in charge of the Minister of Labor, I think was it in the show I was meeting some people. If you just give me Minister of Labor, say, Manyora, you are the CS. Among the many things you'll do, work on labor export. I will, after 2 years or thereabouts, be exporting more than 1 million Kenyans jobs. People will be going to work outside this country. Let me tell you, in what we call government to government, skilled and semi-skilled labor. What are my house girl? Even that house girl, some of them are educated. You only need to give them skills that are marketable, which some of them they can acquire even in 3 months. Do you know that? Do you know that even technical skills people are given in 3 months? Kibit, for example. Plumbing.
Computer skills.
Electrical wiring. You know, plant whatever, what Bush was doing somewhere. The skills they are given. You, instead of sending them as ignorant maids, you give them skills and you export them where they are required. Remember, there are so many vacancies outside there. For example, if you try to export nurses, let me use the word export.
We have tried
Find jobs for nurses in America.
Excuse me.
There will be no nurse left to work for Kenya. Not one.
There's demand?
And yet there will not be enough. The people you are taking to Saudi to die there as slaves, if you train them as nurse aides, because many of the world's population are aging, like Japan. And then even in Europe.
Even in the West.
Many people have aging parents. They want nurses to work, to stay with, and they will pay well. In a government, you will export so much in labor that when people talk of Saudi and the Gulf states bringing in money, you buy 250 billion. I'm talking of trillions. Kenya's budget as it is today can be financed by remittances from Kenyans working outside this country. If we have government to government, if we give people skills and take them to those countries where they are required, and have a well thought out system of saving within the country. You know, it's not just sending money to your parents to eat. We need also to have institutions through which somebody working in Qatar
can invest.
Yeah, in Botswana can bring back money in some form of investments. You know, we will get trillions of shillings, billions of dollars. That's the kind of thinking I'm talking about. But even as we wait for that kind of thinking, must we take our children to Saudi into slavery?
Must we, bro?
To come back in coffins? Can even a parent be said to love their children?
Just watching
if
them
you
go.
Can't stop your girl from going to Saudi because she's been given a salary of 20,000 shillings. Can the country summon sufficient love for its citizens to stop taking them through the motion of slavery in Saudi and some of this? So I'll find it very difficult. I would understand, but I'll find it very difficult to accept that with all this knowledge now we know about Saudi, a parent who has sufficient love for their daughter can send them to Saudi into slavery. You can't convince me that you love. I will understand why you are doing it, but you cannot convince me that that is the right thing to do and that you love your daughter. Love alone should be enough for you to stop your girl from going to Saudi. If this country loves itself and loves its people, the country cannot allow its citizens to be exported into slavery.
Right, you've heard it from Prof himself. He says we need to put in more love to prevent our young women, our young men from coming back here in coffins when they go to the Gulf to work. It's been a pleasure having the discussion with you, always here on Let's Talk Love Kenya, where we talk about issues of love, family, and unity. And I have discussions with Prof here every day. Tune in, subscribe, and be sure to always wait for the next video. My name is Kimathi. I'll see you next time.